with their greatest competitor for the hearts of the fans, Boy George and Culture Club, and the way that rivalry is reflected in the press.
I do resent a lot of the things that are said in the papers about us. We always seem to get the nasty things said about us. And George always gets all the nice things.
George always gets the nice things.
Yes, he seems to get away with the. He seems to have a way of. But we seem to be the bad example of everything. You know,
Does that upset you? That this rivalry between you and Culture Club?
Oh no, I mean there's been rivalry between us over the last 4 years. We've been rivaled with just about everybody and his dog. So this is just this year's who we're being rivaled with this year.
But you mentioned George first.
Yeah.
I mean the fact that
no, but I mean I suppose that's just. I suppose that's me just showing my. You know. I do get upset by it sometimes by the way we are treated in the press, and we do seem to get the rough end of the wedge.
The image that comes across in the videos is the kind that you have a very sort of martini-ad image.
Yeah.
You know, it's all sun, glamour, and girls. Is it?
I think maybe that was a mistake. I think at one point, and I certainly wouldn't like to push it over anymore. I think there was over-excitement and a certain amount of naivety, I think. I mean, we're going back, I think Rio is nearly 2 years old now, that video. And it's not really, it was very much, I think it got misconstrued and people thought we were sort of showing off this jet-setting image. And, you know, we've been on yachts all the time. And now I've got so fed up with coming back from America, and kids say, did you enjoy your holiday in America, you know? When we've been playing every night, and they just think we just lie around on beaches all the time, and I hate yachts. So I think now,
but your life now is glamour, girls, and sun, isn't it?
No, not really. I haven't been in the sea. You look as though you've had more sun than me lately. I mean, I certainly haven't. It's not. I mean, if glamour is playing Oklahoma, and then Madison, and then some obscure little place on the southern Japanese islands. I mean, it's not the idea of it is glamorous, but it'd probably be a lot more glamorous if I was living in London all the time, going out to nightclubs and things. It's unfortunately it's an image that we've given ourselves, and I don't regret it, but I just don't think. I think we were so amazed by it, or we wanted to sort of show it off, and now it's got to the point that I don't really want to push that any further, and that's why I think we did the Reflex. And we said, actually, this is a working band, you know, we do actually perform, we don't just sit on beaches.
You formed the band. Does it bother you that Simon gets so much attention?
No, it did. We went through a whole year, I think, of not speaking to each other, really. And I was sort of resented the fact that you know, what they want to interview him for? I started the band. And he'd be thinking, what they want to interview him for? I'm the singer. You know, and there was this, neither of us would admit it until we got really drunk one night. And we both admitted to each other that we hadn't really spoken to each other for 6 months. We couldn't really look each other in the eye. And it was really weird, and there was this wall between us, and now we probably get on better. Now there's a real bond between us. We get on incredibly, you know, better than we ever have. But there was one point, and there was a real wall, and it was very obvious that was why. But now it doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I'm only too glad that there are five shoulders to spread the weight.
Let me talk to you about success now. You're obviously at the peak of your career. What would you...
I'm on peak at 23, don't say that.
Well, do you think you're at your peak?
Maybe on a mass appeal level. I don't think creatively, and I don't think me personally. That's actually probably my biggest paranoia has been, you know, having peaked by 24.
How are you going to maintain your success? Because the life of a teeny bop band is by definition short.
I think you maintain it by saying that we're not a teeny bop band. And I don't think we ever have been. I don't think we make teeny bop albums. And I don't think we put on a teeny bop live show. We may have there's a certain element of a teeny bop audience and people who buy our records, but I don't think Duran Duran are a teeny bop band. In fact, listening to the chart rundown yesterday, and sort of hearing what was happening, I was actually quite pleased at it. Like the Reflex, I thought was one of the most hardest hitting records in the charts at the moment, in what I think is a pretty sloppy chart, a pretty middle of the road chart.
Does it worry you that pop history is littered with fallen idols?
Yeah, I suppose it does, but I think it's just down to confidence, really. And it's just down to confidence. As I said, that's why I made a thing about having confidence in myself as much as anything. I mean, sure, that maybe Duran Duran as a name, nobody will remember in 10 years' time. I mean, I'm confident enough to think that people will, actually. But as long as I think the 5 individuals in this band are very strong, you know, and they're very capable. And I can't see, you know, I mean, I could be doing what you're doing in 5 years' time, you know. I mean, I don't know.
Would you like to?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind at all. And, you know, I'm sort of fairly open-minded. I'll always be within the music industry. I couldn't do anything else. Couldn't go outside of that entertainment circle. I don't see myself playing bass in the clubs, you know, in the cabaret circuit. I couldn't see us growing old like that. I see us branching out onto, I just see us as entertainers. I don't think, we're sort of like, we could be a bunch of court jesters 100 years ago. I don't think we're musicians as such. I mean, our Candy's a bit of a musician, Roger's a bit of a musician. I'm certainly not, Nick isn't. I hope that that's what's going to keep at least the individual successful. You know, even if the group isn't that. But it is, I think it's confidence, really. And it's confidence to sort of rise above every time a single doesn't do quite so well and people go, you know, and you don't get billing above Howard Jones posters in Smash Hits, you know, and you don't worry about it.
John Taylor and Duran Duran will be performing on High Band, the Channel 4 show on May the 18th. Right, that's nearly it for this Saturday. Over the bank holiday, we'll be going on a scooter rally, would you believe? I think I'll take my granddad to Torquay with a tribe of mods. Quadrophenia lives. That's